Hey, everybody. Hi. Welcome to Make It Make Sense with Monique Pressley. I'm your host, Monique Pressley, and I'm always excited to come before you guys. I'm always thankful for the opportunity to do exactly what the show title says, make it make sense, give you the who, the what, the where, the when, the why, and then somehow some action items, taking areas where there may be confusion, where you lack clarity, where we need some correction, and bring you the best and the brightest possible. If it's not a sweet spot of mine, an area that I know, then you guys who have been with me know that I'm going to bring you the best I can absolutely reach out and touch. And when I tell you, I'm in my bag today, y'all. I am firmly, deeply in my bag with our guest for Wow Wednesday. If you've been watching for a while, you know, yes, we do Wellness Wednesday, but it's also Wow Wednesday, where we just honor women of wonder, women who I know are doing fantastic things in the earth, women who are for real, whatever their particular titles are. Their other title is spelled BAWSE, boss. And we have one with us today, guys. We have one. My dear sister in the struggle, and someone who maybe you know, maybe you don't, but I'm sure that even if you don't know her, you've been seeing her work and seeing her work and seeing her work. And I have had the ability for years now to be able to watch Rachel Noerdlinger work, whether it is planning and strategizing mass events like the funeral for our fallen brother, George Floyd, whether it is taking care of any of her clients, such as National Action Network, Reverend Al Sharpton, or whether it is lending herself and her time to organizations and to fellowships we all belong to, like One with Black Women United. She's that girl. She's that person. And I've been enjoying lately watching her, because I just figured out we're the same age, watching her on a fitness journey. She's making me want to be vegan, y'all. I really want to. In my head, I want to. I got to get it in my heart. Anyway, I'm going to let her say whatever she wants to say about herself. Please help me welcome award-winning communication strategist and PhD in badassery, Rachel Noerdlinger.
Hey, hey.
Hi.
Hello, beloved. How are you today?
You know what? Better now that I get to see your face. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm so grateful to be with you this morning, or it's afternoon now. I don't know. The hours all blend together.
Yes. And for me this week, they are especially blending together. I've been telling each of my guests, like, I'm just trying to wrap my brain around the fact that all three of my children have to be back in somebody's school, like by next Monday, Tuesday.
Wow.
In the middle of everything else, today I have dropped off one child at a junior orientation. I'm taking another child who's a senior to go meet the freshman at her new school. I got another one going for therapy. And that's what I was thinking about, even in having you on. When we talk about Wow Wednesday and Women of Wonder, what I know is that we are operating on so many different planes at the same time. Like, what you see is not what you get. What you see is that little bitty tip on the surface of all the things that are going on. And for you, I can't even imagine. As I said in the intro, you know, Rachel, I've been watching you work for a long time. And as a communications person, as a crisis manager, I think maybe I appreciate it even more, because I know none of the things that you've been connected to, they don't happen by accident. They're not seamless because people oops and uh-oh'd. There is a plan, there is a strategy, there is intentionality, and that's where you come in. So if you could Maybe just tell us a little bit about how you got to be you.
How did I get to be me? Well, it started with sperm and egg. No, hello.
In the beginning.
Many moons ago. Listen, I am first and foremost honored to be with you because I am a lover of all the things that you do. I have also been watching you for years, sis, and you've made me proud on so many fronts, whether it's, the cases that you battled in the courtroom and in the public, because you've had to represent some very high profile people in public spaces, or whether it's the work that you do behind the scenes for civil rights and social justice. I'm honored to be here. I love you, and I'm also providentially with you because you are also a reverend. I just found that out lately, that you are ordained. So this is a spiritual room, and I'm grateful to be here. But about myself, listen, I love all things us. I love providing narratives that will enhance and amplify the amazing things that we are doing as people, because we are in a very, very challenged place right now. And so my entire being, outside of being a grandma, is dedicated to providing narratives that are going to get our stories out into the forefront, our issues on Front Street, so that we can have equity, inclusion, so that we can combat all of the isms and wrongs that are being done to us in real time. Because the state of play right now is a tricky, tricky place to be.
And when you talked about storytelling, I'm going to get back to that grandma part. I'm going to get back to that. Because that's in the land of unbelievable. And you are looking more and more fabulouser and fabulouser with each passing day. But when you talk about narratives and storytelling, one of the things that is very difficult for me as a person who prides myself on being able to communicate well, like have studied how to talk to people for a long time and not just talk at people, but say things so that people could hear and understand. There are so many strong stories out there that are false, that are negative, that have nothing to do with reality, even the reality of people's existence. I'm just wondering, Rachel, I mean, how do we get through all of that? Because I talk to people, even movement leaders whose names I just wouldn't dare name, who will look at me and ask questions like, but are they really doing anything? I don't feel like, and I'm like, are we really going to sit here to talk about your feelings, bro? When we have actually got data, is that we're going to talk about? But that's the way, that's humanity. People feel a certain way, and it's not that. How do we go through that?
We're in an interesting time because everything is smoke and mirrors. There are a lot of folks that are living on the internet, and we're in a digital age where it's really hard to sort through what is authentic, where is the authentic work being done, and where is the work that's being done just for the gram. And so it's a very, 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 and look, this is the reality. A lot of folks are just out there being, social media activists or social media doctors or social media psychologists. And the folks that are doing the real authentic work, often behind the scenes because they don't go on Front Street all day, are not getting as noticed. And so one of the things that's why I do what I do is to be able to build platforms and to amplify the needs and values of people that may not just be on the gram fronting. And it's it's tricky. It's tricky. No, you're in this every day. We are often, those of whom are doing the real work are often overlooked by what is, glittering and sexy and shiny. And sadly, that's where we are as people. That's where we are.
And I heard you, I guess it was maybe at your son was teaching and must have brought you in as a guest to speak. And I was listening to what you were saying to those students and talking about what it takes to grab attention and how there has to be salaciousness or drama or something of intrigue. And you're right. that's a struggle, because by the time the folks who are doing any kind of work get that light, it's for all the wrong reasons,
Right.
because people are happy to glam on the minute that we make mistakes, but are not interested in just elevating for the sake of the work that we do and the good that could be done from elevating it. These days, it's tricky what you attach your name to. You have clients. I'm sure you have to advise people about things like that. How do you decide what should be a public association and what maybe should just be private support?
Well, I vet everything. You got to do some vetting. You have to really find out. I'm like the FBI up in here. You got to find out who's who and what's what before I'm gonna talk to you. You got to get through the Pentagon. But no, in all seriousness, it is an art. It's an art form. It's a skill. You have to be industrious and intentional about learning who's who and what's what, because there are so many credible groups out there and organizations that are doing the real work, but they may not subscribe. Some of the most active folks I know are not on social media. They are actually doing the work behind the scenes. And to be honest with you, Mo, you've asked me to come on your show before, and I've never come on because I don't really do interviews. That's not who I am, because I'd rather be outside in the streets doing the work silently. And I started to do a little bit more of this because I'm now running a company with other people. And so because I have to run a company and Amplify that we have this startup, I've started to lean in a little bit more about being a little more public. But I've always cherished and really found serenity in being a private person, to be frank with you.
No, I understand. I understand both sides of it. And I just want to say hats off to Actum, hats off for everything that you're doing and all the firsts and all the history making. And it's beautiful to see. It is beautiful to be. But somebody like you who we could learn so much from, that's why I was so grateful and so excited about you being willing to do this, because I really don't think people get it. Like, nothing is an accident. Nothing is an accident. If people have longevity in public, best believe there's somebody private making sure of it, making sure of it. Ladders fighting all kinds of fights. And if you watch people go up and then write down, okay, here's my example, because we're talking shop for a little minute. Here's my example. I'm looking at the Fulton County 19. I'm looking at them, and because I can't help but just be in my discipline when I look at things like that, so I'm going, they didn't have a risk management plan. They don't have a crisis manager. They're looking for bond money. If you can't get your percentage of bond money, you got to ask for an extension. Why didn't you already have a lawyer? Why didn't you already have 3 lawyers? You knew this was coming. So I'm watching all this happen, and I'm like, you can be in the highest of high places and have zero strategy.
That is so fact. And, I'm watching the mugshots start to come in. That's what I'm watching. Woo, Lord. And search Trump on Thursday. Let's see what happens. He's trying to get out of having to do a mugshot. But I think that they've been saying that he's going to, just like any other defendant, he's going to have a mugshot. And his bail is set at $200,000. Let's see if he can come up with that money. But no, you're right. It is surprising how lackluster strategy is. And, that's why we started Actum. We are a company where people actually pay us to do very, very high-level strategy. And then we execute on that strategy. And not a lot of firms can really say that they put together the full thought and magnitude of the different pillars of strategy, right? Because when you have different cases, like, the one you just referred to, there's the public strategy, there's the interfacing internal strategy, there's the coalition building strategy, right? If I was representing them, which I never would, but if I was representing them, I would be focusing on their communication strategy. What's the messaging on their behalf? What are the optics of how that they are surrendering and all the things that go along with it? And then behind that, I'd be implementing a full-scale coalition-building validator campaign. So there's other voices outside of them, lifting them and speaking for them because they're the defendant. They're not speaking. So someone has to put together a validation plan of third-party stakeholders, people that will speak on their behalf. I look at everything, any client, like it's a campaign. I really do. Yeah. We put a serious strategy together and a timeline. Where do you want to be in 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and what is it going to take to get there? And how do we find the most effective people to lift you and help be a voice to support your strategy? And how do we find the best narratives and the best way to enhance it in the media?
Yeah. And depending on when the client comes to you, you're also planning for when whatever other shoe falls that may have led them to come to you in the first place, which what I love about everything you're saying and those pillars is I don't know that people understand it works for your life too. You know, it doesn't just work for the public figure, for the politician, for the celebrity person. You can figure out for your family,
yes,
you know, or for yourself as an individual,
yeah,
where you're trying to go, where you see yourself in a week, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, what strategy you need in order to get there, what third-party people can help to validate you and build your plan for your future. And that, to me, that's the blessing of the work that you get to do and that I get to do. It's portable.
That's right.
I can help the janitor with this work. I can help the president with this work. I can help, a Shah somewhere in Iran with the same work because it's principles. And speaking of, I think there's something big coming this weekend. No?
Oh, Lord. Yes. I literally took a break from, was up till way in the wee hours last night, credentialing over 400 journalists from around the country. Saturday is the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington. 1963, Dr. King gave his famous I Have a Dream speech, but it was so much more. All of the things that are many of our relatives, many folks that we know marched for, are at stay. And so Reverend Sharpton and National Action Network and the King family, the Drum Major Institute, and 100 partners, all very diverse. You have a very, very multicultural, diverse group of partners coming together on Saturday to march. And people say, why march? Why march? Because we have to turn demonstration into legislation. We have so much at stake right now. And so you've got to, and we referred to it earlier, you've got to have a bit of drama. You got to put this really, really get outside and make noise for folks to listen. And that's what we're doing on Saturday. And all roads lead to the Lincoln Memorial and then to the march, which will go to the King Monument. I am elated. I cannot wait I go down tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. So where is it starting and where is it going?
So it's starting at the Lincoln Memorial program. It begins at 8 a.m. And then the main program starts at 11. For those of you that cannot go to the march, it'll be on C-SPAN and many other places. A lot of your networks are going to take it live. And then after the program, we're going to march. And we're going to march to the King Memorial. And then the action items come after that, right? What do? We go back and we get to work. Yeah. We are in a new season. You just said you're taking your kids back to school. Your kids are going back to school with so many more of their rights at stake than they were even just a month ago, even just 2 months ago, even just 3 months ago, because every day the devil is hard at work, very, very hard at work. And so we're marching and we're going to keep marching.
Amen. Amen. And I think was it last year? I was there with the Floyd family. Was that last year? Was that year before last?
Year before, yeah.
Year before last at the Capitol.
Yeah.
And I remember, and we had just left a meeting trying to get, again, legislation passed and came.
And we're still not there. Look at that. The George Floyd Justice and Policing Act is still not gone through the Senate. But we're not going to give up, right? It takes time, and it takes us being very, very, very industrious and committed and continue. And it takes a bipartisan effort, right? A lot of us don't like to work with people that are not on our side of the political ideology. And so that's fine. But the reality is, to get anything done in Washington, D.C., anything, You have to be able to be open to having diverse conversations. And so, and, you know, I'm an advocate for bipartisan conversations. It's the only way to get things done.
Yes, I'm an advocate for bipartisan conversations too. But if I have a bipartisan conversation with two of the people who were responsible for telling the George Floyd family that it was going to happen and then tanking it, it might not be the nicest bipartisan conversation. But I'm just saying, yes, I agree with you that we have to make those efforts. And, you know, Attorney Crump feels the same way and gets a lot of flack for the fact that we're willing to sit down with a Lindsey Graham or with a Tim Scott or with a whomever. But it really is, it's whatever it takes to get the result for our people. And these things have to happen. Okay, I got like 3 minutes left, so I need to take a hard left and switch gears because I cannot get out of here without talking to you, woman of wonder, about why you're and why the hair is so shit, and why you're at Fight and Wait, and why because I went on this morning and I saw you had your fruit in there, and you were adding B12 and a little B and a little protein powder and some green juice. You're doing all the things. People want to be healthier, but keep talking about a start. What triggered the turn for you? And you got to go look at her IG. If you don't know what I'm talking about, she's been taking us on a ride that has me wanting to go to my hot yoga class.
You know, it's providential that we're on today because today is the 23rd, right? Today is August 23rd, yeah. I think it's the 23rd. Well, literally 8 weeks ago today, I started a detox. And I went to Georgia, and there is a retreat space run by Queen Afua, the legendary wellness global healer. Yeah. She detoxed me for 3 days. And then after the detox, she came back with me to the east side, came to my home, took me shopping, and totally stocked my kitchen with all the things that were going to give me life and vitality. She taught me how to, my son will tell you, he may have had 2 home-cooked meals his whole life. I needed to make a shift because I'm a grandma now and I wanted to live. I want to live. I will live. And so that young man has gone through college, has got his doctorate, is running a Fortune 10 company, whatever he ends up doing. I will be here for that because I made a shift in my mind that I wanted to live. I've had all kinds of I'm an athlete, but even being an athlete, I've had fibroids, I've had other issues, and all of that now has ceased because of this new wellness endeavor that I'm on.
But what made you want to go and get the detox?
Well, first of all, my best friends, we call ourselves the Golden Girls, Erica Ford and Kepra. They have been students of Queen Afua for years. When I say years, they've been trying to get me to go for maybe 2 decades. I always ran from them, like, get out of my face with this holistic stuff. Like, come on now, let me just go drink a latte and eat a candy bar. And it worked for years until I started getting fibroid and other issues that I was not happy with. And so I just made a commitment. She got me on the right day. I woke up one day and I said, I want to be clear. And I tell you one thing, Mo, my mind has never been clear. It's really amazing. I have like a third eye now. Ever since I stopped, I'm totally clean. No meat, no dairy, no coffee, no sugar. No, I'm basically eating cardboard.
It touches me to hear, because we talk about wellness in some way or another almost every week here, you know, but all kinds of wellness, emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, financial wellness, physical wellness. And people really do struggle with, I want to, but, and it does turn into a lifestyle. But what you say is the thing that I know for sure, like once that thing hits, and you're like, wait a minute, I can quite literally see better. Yeah, you know, I can hear better. I am
impeccable listener. I actually listen better. Like everything has shifted. I've become an impeccable listener. Like I am able to now really, really listen before I speak. They call me Shotgun Shorty. I'm the first one to like respond. I want to fight. You know, I want to be a gangster. No, that's not. It's a strategy that we should be taking.
No, No, it is not. But I love that. I love that for you at this time because I went through menopause early and I had no clue I was going through it because I was getting my checkups and everything and I had gone the year before. And Dr. Sharon Malone, I've had her here on the show. She's Eric Holder's was my GYN for years before she went on to her big fancy business that she's doing now. But if I hadn't had a Black woman doctor who was listening to me, who knew us, when I went in and was steadily trying to convince them, nope, I'm crazy. Give me whatever it is. If this doesn't work, I don't work. Like, you can take my arm before you let me go, let this brain go. Because I had fog, I had fatigue, I had all the things. I'm like, it is depression. I don't send me somewhere. Do none of that. And she knew, like, as I was presenting, that wasn't me. She's like, okay, I'm going to do everything you want me to do. I'm going to give you a script. I'm going to give you a doctor. I'm going to give you all these things, but I'm also taking blood work. So I'm also taking blood work. And 2 days later, when she called me, and she's like, Monique, are you sitting? I'm like, I prefer to stand. Thank you. She said, but it was already feeling a little bit better. Like a little bit of hormone that she gave me because she just knew, right? But when she said, you're in menopause, I was like, oh, okay. So period. She's like, no, baby, full blown, at least 6 months in. And I was ignoring all of my symptoms because for whatever reason, especially as Black women, we think we're supposed to struggle. Yeah, and suffering goes with it. Pain, just the hardness of life, like suck it up, chick. And I'm the queen of sucking it up. But she's like, you don't have to. You don't have to. And it really changed my life. It changed and so many, but even just that word of knowledge, Rachel, changed my life. You do not have to suffer and not figure out the cause.
Thanks. And say if you can heal a Black woman, you can heal an entire community. So we all got to get to healing, every last one of us, because we got a world to heal.
Yeah, because what do? When we find anything out, we share it. Yeah, just like we're doing right now. Yeah, when we get one thing right, we tell everybody. We get our house together. We tell the community because we don't like doing good stuff by ourselves.
Amen.
We want it for everybody. Okay, so where can we find all things, Rachel? There's no Acton DC, is it? I'm gonna call you about that later.
But what are you talking about? We have a strong sister. We have a very strong Washington DC office. If I told you, with the co-chairs, I don't know if I told you about the bipartisanism. We are strong in DC. We have offices in DC, Los Angeles, Sacramento, New York. We got to go into Paris, Brussels. Look out.
I read all of it, and it's such a professionally done operation. You can tell people who know about that image matters are in charge of this. And so congratulations on all things. What if somebody needs you? Are you hiring? Where can they find you?
Look, I am totally willing to give out. I'll even give out my email. It's rnoerdlinger at actumllc.com. rnoerdlinger@actumllc.com. You be industrious and figure out how to spell Noerdlinger. And then the website,
yes,
www.actumllc.com.
Yes. If they're watching us, even if they end up watching it on YouTube, it'll be right there in the comments, y'all. So don't miss out. And you got to jump to it. Be prepared to get the best when you go look for Miss Rachel because she deserves it.
I'm grateful. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate you. And I won't see you this weekend. I wish I would, but the Queen Bee is calling me. So I will see you very, very soon.
You go, Queen Bee.
Okay. Thank you, Rachel.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. Bye. Guys, I hope you enjoyed our conversation with Rachel Noerdlinger as much as I did. She's a jewel. She's a jewel in our culture and our community. She's a jewel in the business world. She's for sure a strategy and communications genius. And the fact that she is able to do her work so quietly for so long is proof of her success. Because I tell people all the time, by the time you have to see somebody actively doing things out in the public, it's because every private thing didn't work. It's because all the best people tried all the best things and they still ended up having to be on Front Street. So if you want to take your company, your brand, your image, your personhood to the next level, then I highly recommend my sis, Rachel Noerdlinger. And please do, if you're in the DC area or can get to the DC area, please join in for the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington. It is an acknowledgement. It is a recognition of how far we've come out that needs to be done. It is honoring Dr. King and his family who is taking up the torch of his work. And it is necessary. I've gone to every possible one that I could when they had them. I will be gone this year. Conflicting travel plans, but if not, I would be right there. So please do. There's nothing like it. I can't describe the feeling when you're out there and at the Lincoln Memorial and knowing that so many gigantic pieces of history have happened right there. It's hallowed ground. Please do support us by subscribing to my YouTube channel. That is Monique Pressley TV. You can also support us through giving. You can do it through PayPal, $ Monique Pressley TV, paypal.me/Monique Pressley TV, or through Cash App, which is $ Monique Pressley TV, or by advertising with us. You can go to sales@moniquepressley.com and somebody from the team will get back to you right away for you to advertise either on the live or to advertise on YouTube. We offer both and friends of the show packages and so many things. Speaking of which, thank you, friends and partners. Thank you, Black Voters Matter Fund. Thank you, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Thank you, USDA. Thank you, Ben Crumpois, and others who have just cared enough about what we're doing to support, not just with mouth and not just by coming on this show, but through putting their money where their mouth is. And we need it. We're a small but mighty team that works on money, free to you, not to us. So any giving, no amount too great or too small. We appreciate them all. I will be back with you tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow, noon Eastern, making it make sense. Until then, bye-bye.